My pub. Good evening. It's 5 o'clock, Sunday evening, and we're live, as usual. It's becoming a bit of a thing, do you reckon? So what do I want to talk to you about tonight? And what do you want to hear? First of all, before we go any further, let me know if that mic's working. Can you hear me perfectly? I've started to use a mic. This windy weather. Good evening. Mic working? Let me know. So, where am I today? Good evening, Stuart McPherson. You tell me where I am? Plain obvious, really, isn't it? Pretty much like everything else I'm going to talk about. See in the distance? Behind me there, we've got the changing rooms for the rugby pitch. And if we turn this back round, here you have one of the most famous pitches on this planet. Good evening, Sharon. I say on this planet. It's produced some pretty amazing rugby players, and it's seen some amazing rugby players on it as well. Now, I suppose the main thing I want to chat to you about is teamwork. Have you heard the expression, there's no I in team? As you may gather from the title of this webisode, it's called Better Together. We all work better together, don't we? I think you'd agree. Hoyle, Sharon, Margaret Bumford, Nikki, thanks for joining me. So, let's have a look here. How many of you out there would agree that we all play better together? We're all part of something, and that's kind of something I think is important to discuss on this. If I'm making any sort of documentary or documents of this kind, then I should address some of these themes and some of these important sort of subjects. So I want to look today, based on last week, I'm going to take a look at clubs, groups, teams, that kind of thing. I was hoping to get some pinkles on you today. I'm assuming that someone is hungover. It was Saturday, yesterday after all. Lisa Lewis, good evening. Sound a bit windy, no way. Even with this mic, if you could see this mic right now, it's like a dead cat. Actually, they call it a dead cat. Good evening, Gwen. Let's see if I can move out of the wind's way. That's shocking, that's disappointing, I would say, Lisa. As long as you can hear me, that's the main thing. So now I'm down the side here. So clubs, halls, groups. Windy everywhere. Doesn't matter if I've got a dead cat on my mic. It's still proving not that helpful. So let me move in here maybe. So rugby, one of the main sports of our village, most celebrated thing of our village, and that's probably one of the pinnacles of the idea that I talk about, this togetherness, playing together, working together as a team. There's no I in team, so I'm told. What do you reckon, Jason? Is there I in team? I don't think so, my friend. Jason's one of our guys on the Carnival project. He, more than anyone knows, there's no I in team. Tina Maria Thomas, good evening. There's no I in team, Tina. So we're all looking for something to do. What do? You join a team, you join a club. So what does Tumble have to offer? As a community, rugby, like I said, is one of its biggest things. But if we have a quick flit around this park, good evening. Hope you're okay, pal. Very good, thank you. Apart from the wind. Now let's persevere and see what happens. Now I've acquired a mic, a special mic, especially for my podcasts, or my, what do you want to call them? I don't think they're podcasts, they're live streams. It also has a dead cat in it. Looks like a mouse, maybe, not a dead cat. I think they call them dead cats. Tennis. We used to come up here and play tennis when we were kids. Rugby, football. It all happened, yeah. If I turn this around, So there, pavilion, or at least that's what we used to call it. Different now, different building. I don't think it's the same place. They rebuilt this, knocked the old one down back in the 90s, I believe. If we go and have a look, there's your tennis court with AstroTurf, so you guys can play football as well. A lot of guys work really hard to keep and maintain this place. So a message to you all, anybody who is involved in cleaning up and tidying up this place, if you feel that you need to damage the place, maybe reconsider what you're doing. Let's play holistically as a part of a team. Special Mike is here. Well, good evening, Special Mike. Carnival will be here on the 27th of July. Fantastic. Bit windy. Yes, Jason, I know. I can't do much about it, I'm afraid. I don't have a thing, unfortunately. Let's turn this around. You can't see much through here. But just recently, there was, hang on, maybe I can show you in the reflection, my dead cat. No. Let's have a look. Can you see it? You just about see it there? Anyway. So this place, we used to come up here as kids. It used to, just recently, they used to have karate here, they used to have boxing. They used to have nursery club, I think that's what you call it. So you'd have a place for kids, groups of kids to get together and learn from each other. So, you know, community, what would community be without this kind of idea of togetherness? The idea of community works solely on that sort of frame. Let's have a look. Who's with me? Good evening, Bugs. Good evening, Kira and Dean. Thanks for joining me. So, let's have a look. Let's get the exposure right. I don't think I can. That's cool. Don't worry about it. Good evening, Owen. Call in. Thanks for joining me. Yeah. So whatever you need a place to be sort of hanging out together and working together. Now there, like I said, used to be the pavilion, and this used to be the park. Now I have covered this before, however, I've not discussed it in this light. So I love that shot. I need a photograph of that. Maybe if I do this and just get a shot later from that. But yeah, here used to be the slide. Right there, if anybody remembers the old slide made of wooden logs and a huge metal slide that'd burn your butt on the way down. You'd stick to it like chewing gum, especially in the hot weather. It was horrendously painful when we were kids, but we loved it. We absolutely loved it. Just as much as I love that shelter that the kids get to call their own. There's, and they've decorated it the way they want to. They have their piece to say, and that's where they hung out. There were a bunch of kids here earlier who I recognised. They recognised me with my camera, and I came across to take some pictures of them. They've disappeared now. They're probably safer that way, otherwise I'd get them on camera. And maybe that's not a good idea in some cases. Now without mum or dad knowing, could be any old buffoon with a camera. Anyway, if I turn this around, there's the new park, or what is just about to become the old park, because some have deemed it unfit. But back there, if we look back into the background, if you go down a little bit, there was the old bowls, bowling park. All well, as we saw it when we were kids, they'd go off with their bowling bags, and we saw them as the old fellas going to play bowls. I mean, what was bowls? But now that I think back at it, I wouldn't mind a game of bowls. I'm not sure I'd want to be part of a team to play bowls, but I wouldn't mind a go. Yeah. Now, one thing that I'm probably going to mention because it's just as important as anything. If we're going to talk about togetherness, working as a team, communities need to do that, be together and sort of hold things together. But there's always someone ready to sort of trash that or damage it in some way. But we've got to have a different mindset about this. Now, when I was growing up, if you did something wrong, you'd have a good old slap. If you didn't get a good old slap, you'd probably just get away with doing anything. And they did get away with anything, and then they'd continue doing things. However, as a society, we're very likely to sort of shun those people. Darryl McKee, we used to play around the old pavilion. We'd make up games when no one had a ball. Yeah, I remember that. I can't remember exactly what games they were. They were made up, I think. Mark Thomas, bowls is hard to play. I bet it's hard to play. I see it as walls. Is it similar to walls? Just using balls? Balls. Strange. Anyway, sorry. That's going to be my new title of this webisode. Walls with balls. Anyway, yeah. Kids damage stuff. If kids haven't got anything to do, they break stuff. That's what kids are like. Why not? I mean, if nobody's going to tell them otherwise. If I heard someone saying the other day that they were going to take, I don't think it was this park, it was a local park, they were going to take the park away. Too many kids were hanging around it, hanging around the park, which is designed for kids, and causing too much noise and chaos. Well, if you don't provide anything for kids, they're going to look for kicks. Simple. That's how it works. You don't take something away from someone who's looking for something to work with. Where's the sense in that? I mean, look, and if somebody damages something, don't shun those people, push them away, and don't treat them like outcasts. If you look at the prison system, it's the same thing. Does it stop anyone from convicting again? No, it doesn't. Give them something to do. Bring them in. Be part of it. If you want to paint obscenities or bad words on a shed, maybe give them a brush and paint them. They seem to like painting. Give them a job painting. Pull them in. Don't push them away. I think you'll find you'll enforce a better society if you bring people in and work hard at sort of making them feel part of everything. Sometimes it doesn't work. I'm not trying to. I don't pretend I have any of the answers. However, I think a lot of this stuff is proven fact if we only just take the time. Stephanie, my father used to play bowls for Tumble. He used to let me have a go. You are lucky because many of us never had a go at bowls. It was one of those things that was for elitists. I'm just saying that. When I say elitists, it was their game. Who are we to come in and mess with that team? Huh? Right, let's work together. Do me a favour and share this live stream. Let's see how many people we can get involved and sort of look at things together. So I'm going to go up for a moment. Now, hopefully, I probably won't go too much into this, but I'm going to have a look at the club, for instance, and I'm going to look at some of the things that the club have provided in the community over the years. Let me just show you the back of this place. It's amazing. It's actually got some serious character. Now, my parents lived here for many years and ran the club, and this is it from the back. Now, we used to, as kids, climb over that wall there. Well, actually there used to be a gate there. Climb over, run in then to the back of the club. Still has a lot of character, I love it. Many a game for Tumble RFC down there, and a few pints afterwards. Let's have a look. I've just lost the message. Sorry. A few pints afterwards, just over the road. They were actually hilarious. Little paper and sweet shop on the corner there. You go, Huw? Yes. I was hoping to get them on to talk to me just a couple of weeks ago, but we couldn't make that happen at the time. Maybe again sometime. found, sorry, Darren McKee, the screen is shining here. Fond memories of the grass triangle where we played rugby. Grass triangle. Okay, do you want to tell me a bit more about that? Michael Brown, good evening. That's part of the team that you don't want to be part of. So we're going to go up now and have a peep at the Workingmens Club, shall we? Good evening. If I turn this over just for you to see, there you go, the Tumble Workingmen's Club, or now the Tumble RFC also. So that goes to show that this is just as much. I'm going to go in here and see if I can go through without upsetting too many people, I think, or drawing too much attention. Let's see if this is open. There you go. So we've been in here a couple of times, but I just wanted to sort of draw attention to this idea that we celebrate in community, and that is team effort. Look at all these guys that have played for Tumble and are still celebrated. Recognise a few faces up there. These are fantastic photographs. So there you have the shirts. Now I remember that board being in Tumble RFC back in the day, down the road, which was the Tumble Hotel then. Because the show, you know, we celebrate that as a community, especially here in Tumble. And Tumble, ni gyd yn hoffi tym bach o rugby, and we enjoy sort of celebrating it as well. It's wall to wall in here, so if you have a look at this, I love that idea. I think back in the 90s they didn't have any of this stuff here, because at the time it was still in the Tumble Hotel, but now you can come to the Workies and have a look at some of this history and be part of many other things. It's not just rugby. The Tumble Workies is also known for sort of ladies groups, snooker, darts, karate. What else has it got? Bingo, cards, poker, even pool. I'm sure there were many sort of games back in the 80s and 90s that even us had to get involved with. Even the jidgies back then. You could even come here as part of a sort of betting club, I suppose, and then go down to the Tumble Hotel and place your bets in the bookie next door. Good evening, Barbara. Let's go for another little spin then, shall we? There's no, after visiting the Top Tumble Club last week, I thought it was important to point out some of these other places that are hubs of our community, that we can sort of all get together, all walks of life, all different sort of interests, and we celebrate that together. Now the Workies is one of them, Top Club is one of them, and we had a few. If you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we were just at the back of I forget the name, Skidjercombe, which we used to call Green Hill, but behind there used to be a Cubs Hall. There have been plenty of things, even the churches. It's probably something else I'd like to discuss at another point, but there have been a few places in the community that we can all go to, and we can still go to. And like I said last week, it's a case of sometimes use it or lose it. Some things are a little safer than others. However, like I mentioned last week, right there used to be the Tumble Hotel, which are now houses. 4 houses at the moment. I think they're planning for more, but right there stood the Tumble Hotel, which we have now lost, unfortunately. So you no longer have that. No, there's nothing safe. Some people have said that, oh, this is in trouble, that is in trouble. I don't believe it until I see it. However, you never know. And if we stop supporting these things, then you're going to have nothing to go to. Anyway, without being sort of negative, let's have a look. Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Simon, Alex. Who else is with me? Do me a favour, guys. Help me out. Work as a team. Share. And let's see what kind of conversation we can get going here. Now, where I'm taking you next is to... Can you guess it? Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. The hall. Let's go to Tumble Hall, shall we? Now, in Tumble Hall, when we were kids, you had a number of things run in. You know, my father tells me a different story, and all the older guys will tell you different stories about the cinema that was there, the snooker hall. But when we were kids, it was where we had karate. That's where we went for Lynn and Arlen and Tina. They kicked our butts as young kids. Trying to teach you a lesson in life, really, isn't it? Kind of an analogy, and it was good for understanding how to respect one another. I think, at least I think that might have been its part of its concept, I suppose. Good evening. Good evening, Faye. So, let's turn this around, have a look. So there you have it, Tumble Hall. Now, does anybody remember going down this? I'm going to make a point of this. I'll come back to the hall in a moment. But we used to hang out here. This was our way through from the Tumble Chippy back to the park or back to home. So we would come through the village. It was easier to go down this alley, go through that gate there, and then down the field, and then back to school. And right next door to it you had the chapel, which we used to go in the back of as well. We used to climb this. That window is to go into the old library of Tumble, which we'll probably have a look at in a moment. But I still love, I'm going to do it now. Why not? I'm going up the steps. I've been up here for years, and it still feels just as good. How many of you have done that in recent years? So looking out, just turn this back round. There you have it. That there is Bethel, built in 1890, I believe. I think that's the date. It was a clinic for us when we were kids. That's where we went for jabs. And then this beauty next door is a massive chapel. I'm going back down the stairs now, and hopefully I don't fall while I'm live, especially. So who's with me? We're all in Tumble on this fine evening again. Fletch, don't tune in because the weather doesn't seem to like you and you jinx me. So hopefully you'll come in after the weather, after I finish this. So let's have a look at this from the side of the road, shall we? Where it's safe to cross. We turn this around. So there's Tumble Hall. Magnificent building. Built in 1914. And that there, the miners paid for that. During the turn of the century, they all got in kitty and all started putting £1 a week in to pay for this place to be built. And it's still standing, still going, not being sold off. And that's the main thing, it's still part of the community. It's got an amazing deco. When you see it, it kind of looks like one of those sort of cinematic old cinemas. And that being, it was a cinema back in the day. But let's go in. And I'm going to stop yapping, and we're just going to go in and we'll go meet Mike, shall we? Good evening, Mark Thomas, Marie Jones, Sam Richards. Sorry, I've said Mark at one point. So, here we go. I love that. If you go through here, you can see Mike busy in the background there. And point out, I've got a photograph of this place, and it was something a little different back then. And you had blue curtains there then. It's looking ship shape here. Nice new floor, new carpet. Good evening, Mike. How are you, sir? Are you okay? Yes, very good. So, what have we done to the place, Mike?
I haven't been great to see you.
Yeah, I hear you know a little bit about its history, Mike, as you could help me out with.
A little bit, yeah. I've come along here once or twice in my time,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
Used to spend some time here as a kid as well, didn't you?
Yes, in the cinema, when it was a cinema, you know. As you see it now, it then became a sports hall, and now it's an entertainment venue.
It's slightly different to what I remember it last time. It used to have like these blue curtains and the old carpet was down.
Are still there. Yeah,
Are they?
Yeah, we can close the curtains, you know. So,
All right.
so on press a button and it all closes.
Is it?
Yeah, we used to have the old balcony up there at one time.
So that would have been up the top there. So that would have been part of the cinema,
yes,
would it?
If you can see at the back there, you can see that just the line going across the floor there.
Yeah.
The balcony used to come out as far as there, and it's a shame really that they've got rid of it, because that would have been an ideal balcony for what we do here at the moment.
Would that have, so if I can imagine, the doors would have come out onto that balcony from which end then?
Yes,
Both ends?
I can't remember if it was central. I think it was central, because above this ceiling again, it goes up for about 15-20 foot.
Is it?
I believe the old projector, where the projector used to be, you know, the hall is still there. I haven't been up there, but I'm told it's still.
It would be interesting to see that, wouldn't it?
I know. It's you know, and it's a shame really that balcony was still not there, because it would have been an ideal situation for that to be there with the shows that we do here, you know.
And I do see that you advertise some big shows. Didn't you just have Bon Jovi, or is that on its way?
Bon Jovi's the next one coming.
Is it?
It's a big one.
I'm sure it's going to be a big one. I'm sure you're going to have a massive turnout for that.
Yes, it's nearly sold out. I think there's about 30, maybe 40 tickets left. And if you can sell them, then it's a full house.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's an electrifying atmosphere in here. You know, when this place is at its fullest.
Well, it's a rather big hall when you think about it. I don't think you can justify it on screen here, but when you see the size of the stage, it is a whopper. So this place was built in 1914, is that right? Is it 19? I think I just read that it's 1914.
Yeah.
So there used to be a snooker hall upstairs as well, wasn't there?
Yes, well, the room is still there, but the snooker table's long gone.
Should we have a look at it? Should we peep?
We're going to have a look. Yeah. We used to have some fun up there when we were kids, you know. People my age will remember it well. When we never used to have chalk. we used to put the cues into the wall and have the old lath and plaster as chalk, you know. Well, that's what we used to do when we were kids now. We didn't know any different. Actually, it's changed a little. It's a lovely venue for a meeting room now, or a conference room, a training room. Well, this used to be the old snooker room.
Well, this has had a bit of a facelift as well, Mike.
I fair play to Roger Berry. He's done a good job in here. Doing the old paper.
This is nothing like I remember it. I remember seats going around the edges of this room.
Yeah, we've recently took them away.
Yeah.
To turn it into this conference room, meeting room, training room. You can call it what you want. But the old walls are still there. The holes are being plastered up, thanks to Roger.
Maybe you should have sort of pushed them in maybe a little.
It was great because the snooker table used to be around this area here. And we used to go with the old cues, you know, we used to put the cues in the wall because it was all lath and plaster. Well, you ask any boys my age and they will all tell you, you know, there's
Well,
But we were only about 9, 10, 11 then, you know.
I think you'd have had about 2 snooker tables in you, would you?
Can't remember if there was 2 in here. Such a long time ago now, to be honest with you. I think it was only 1. There used to be a snooker place up in Tumble as well. I think they had a few tables up there. I think there was only 1 here though.
Oh, right.
Can't
Well,
remember that was called.
I remember in this room, Lisa Lewis has just mentioned youth club when we were kids. I don't know if you remember the youth club, Mike.
No, I must have moved out of the village then.
Well, this was back in the 80s, and I remember, if I turn this around, I remember this room here, for instance. I don't know if anybody else remembers coming here. It was like a nursery club. So we would be literally, if I turn this around there, you'd be able to, we used to climb up to this window here, Mike, and we'd be crying down then for mum or I doubt very much that it was my father dropping us off here, but I remember crying in that window until we had cookies and squash or something with Summers, I believe. I can't remember her name now. Neris. Summers.
Well, I can't remember that part, to be honest with you. I must have moved out to the village then, and obviously back now.
Tumble born boy though, aren't you?
I was born in Birmingham.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I see. There you are. You learn something new all the time.
But raised up in Tumble.
Yeah. Well, of course, I remember. I know your sister, and I remember your parents, which lived in the street with us, more or less. Mike Lewis is saying, "Bruv."
Mike Lewis. Who's Mike Lewis?
You'd know him. I can't show you a picture now, but he's living in Top Tumble. Wayne Good, Hannah E. Griffiths. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So let's have a look. Great venue. Love singing on that stage. Keep up the good work, Mike, says Hannah E. Griffiths.
Hannah. Show my Hannah. She's a lovely singer.
Is she?
Ammerford.
Is it?
Just outside Ammerford she lives. She's been here once or twice, and she's a good singer. You need to book her. She's very, very good.
Okay, well there you go. Anybody in the community interested in sort of booking Hannah? That'll be. I'm sure Hannah would appreciate that.
Yeah, she's good. Very good singer.
Da iawn. Okay, I'm missing the messages now as they're coming in.
Right.
Marie Jones is saying that she cleans up here.
Oh yeah, my Marie.
It's mad to think, isn't it? Well, I can remember this room filled with little tables, and this was hell to me, this room, because
back in the day, it was for me. It was snooker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The holes in the wall was important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we never used to have chalk. We couldn't afford chalk. So the queues used to go in sneakily, you know.
Yeah.
And we used to use the lath and plaster then to. Now that I know it's lath and plaster. Back at the time, we thought it was chalk, and that was it. You okay?
Did you use that bar back then, Mike?
No, I can't remember the bar being there back at the time. I think that's come over the years. You know?
Is it? So it's quite a recent thing.
Yeah, it's finished now. It's more of a kitchen now.
So that's where the coffee's kept. For the So what happens in here right now then, Mike? What's the?
It's been turned into a conference room, training room, meeting room. So anybody
Fantastic.
wants to come up here, and it'll seat approximately 40 to 50 people. Great for little kids to come up here to have a little party or something, you know.
Yeah.
So good.
Could so anybody you'd have to book it?
Yeah, you can hire this.
What's the rates for hiring?
It's about £10 an hour.
Oh, right. Okay. That's
Come and see myself or see Mandy, and we can book you in.
brilliant. Oh, great stuff. So, does anybody else remember this place? Did you remember the nursery room in here? Do you remember any of the snooker stuff? Anybody remember the cinema, possibly?
I'm going to point out to you how many drinkers are in Tumble.
Yeah.
Come here. Get up here, Trum. Can you zoom in over there? Just zoom in the corner. Right in the very corner. Can you see it?
It won't let me.
There's some drinkers in Tumble.
Well, that's the bottle bank over there, as Mike's pointing out. And if you have a look, there's more bottles there than bins or any cars on any given day. So, yeah,
the story behind that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've run the environmental health up, and they have told me that there's 2 lorries down at the moment, and they're trying their hardest to get back and pick them all up. It's not just only Tumble.
No, it's everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, I've noticed that. There's been a few things on Facebook recently talking about that.
Yeah, and there's 2 wagons down, so they're doing their best to.
Yes, no, yeah, I imagine. But yeah, everything's in the sort of vicinity here, and we've even got a whiteboard there, Mike,
Yes.
up to date, so you can draw your charts or your little matchstick men on that wall.
Yes,
when you're having a conference, possibly. So is the other room still open?
Well, that's an office now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's,
Does it still have the pictures on there of the sort of local councillors? Or it used to, didn't it?
Yes, I can open that up at the moment, to be honest with you. But
I do have some photographs of this back a few years ago. It's a shame I can't focus on it now because of the. But yeah, cool. Well,
so this used to be that used to be the old snooker room. Well, as I remember it, you know. But it's after my time, then became your time and your nursery. You know, so that's what you remember. I remember the snooker room.
Well, I'm sure nobody's actually said anything on here, but I was hoping somebody might know anything else of it because there was some kind of bar there, I'm sure.
Well, yeah,
at one time.
It then became a lounge, but I never went there when it was the lounge, you know, and I think it was dated, and I think it was time for a change, so that's why we've changed it into a meeting, conference room, training room, you know. So we'll have more use out of it now than what we did before.
Yeah, great. So, anybody following me right now, do me a favour and punch the share button, and let's see if we can get anybody involved that remembers parts of this hall, being part of their sort of their time, part of their community, any clubs that they might have been involved in, or groups. Does anybody remember the library here? Because I used to be part of the sort of library group when I was a kid.
And the old box office is still here.
Is it?
When you used to come in for the cinema.
Just turn this around.
It's still there.
Yes. Look at that. So that's where you would have had your tickets for any event.
Mr. and Mrs. Allen.
Maybe you should open that back up, Mike.
Maybe, good idea.
It might be an interesting sort of.
It's more of a cloakroom now, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, it's more of a cloakroom. I'm not sure if that's locked. Lynn has locked that anyway. So.
Lynn's a good boy. He knows his thing, and he's keeping us busy boys out of here.
The library is still there. That's locked as well, so he's locked that.
So this would have been the main room then, and we used to come up here as kids, Mike, and we would pretend that it was the library and the Ghostbusters.
Right, I'm with you.
And then we'd be sat on one of the chairs there, and we'd be crapping a load, waiting to see a ghost. Never did, mind.
So listen, I lock up here, right, and I've never seen one yet. Never seen one yet. But this is where it all happens now, to be honest with you. We have some entertainment in here, so it's all good. We got karate in here.
Yes.
Every week, you know, we got Zumba in here, so there's lots going on in here. There's line dancing in here. It's something for everybody. You know, happening each and every day of the week.
Yeah. It's well, you can see that it's busy, and that's the main thing, and it should be. It's a big place and needs to be filled, isn't it?
Well, there's not many little villages have got this type of facility, to be honest with you. It's a great place.
Did you ever have a chance to do karate here back in the 80s?
No. You listen. What we want to do now is go next door and have a chat with Lynn, because he will give you some information.
That would be good, actually. Do you know what? I should have thought of that.
Come on.
Yeah, Lynn.
We take a vicinity.
I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Yes, come on. Everybody knows Lynn Morris.
Of course they do. He was the karate master.
Yeah.
Now going, we're going to give Lynn Morris a bit of a surprise visit. Now, he was a teacher for karate back in the 80s.
you got your trousers on?
He doesn't walk around in his pants now, does he?
I don't think so. No,
He's a decent chap, see?
yeah. Now, anything you need to know about karate? No, I thought you was into Kung Fu or something.
Yeah, karate used to teach us.
Come on, boy, open the door. Who are you? Hiya. This is the man we want to speak to, look.
Good evening, Lynn. Now this is the man that would kick your butt if you you weren't behaving when we were kids.
On Facebook Live.
What's it?
Yeah. Seriously, on Facebook Live.
I'm an imposter now. Sorry, Lynn.
Follow me. You must be talking to my boss. This is my boss.
Shemai, Sharon. Yeah, I'm now coming into your home. I'm filming you live. How's that? Ti di bod ar y Bronx o blaen? Ti di gweld ar, have you seen it on Facebook? Well, tune in, you're now live on it. If you go on Facebook, onto Huw Alden Davies' page, you'll see.
It shows your house is Lorrapin on a Sunday where she should be working. I can't understand it. And I'm the one now, okay, who's got to do the lawns and doing everything. And this one is pretty sitting. Look at that. Take another look at that. Hey. Ah.
It's too bad you can't even relax in your own home on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. I'm saying nothing, Lynn.
Well, hey, besides the karate he used to do, right? He's a very good cook as well with the cakes.
He is a very good cook with the cakes.
Is he right?
No, I'm not a very good cook.
Come on now, Lynn. Everybody knows this in the village.
He's the only one I put my arm around because we're the same height.
It's what it is, right? I just enjoy doing one or two. I do the potatoes. This is my special today. Right? The good old spud.
There he is, yeah. I know.
Well, Pearl Davis is saying, love these to bits.
Pwy?
And fam me, a gweud.
Diolch
Yeah.
fam.
Oh, well, the reason I popped in now to say, Mike, I was talking to Mike about the karate when you were teaching karate back in the 80s. When did you finish doing it, Lynn? Was it 80s or 90s?
True. Oh, I don't know. It was a long time ago. 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
Late 90s.
Well,
early 90s.
people have got fond memory of the classes there.
I can't see now anyway. Somebody,
Can't see, can't bloody hear either.
Can't you?
I'm going to shout at him to lock the door.
Well, thank you very much, Lynn, for talking to us.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you for having me.
a pleasure.
I can go back now on my tea.
Yes. Sorry for disturbing you on a Sunday.
I can do my cakes.
Yeah, hey, I tell you what, there's something else. I'm coming back to see you with your cakes one day. It won't be long.
You need
Yes.
to because they are
I'll catch you when you're cooking, and then
Spot
we
on.
can have a chat.
Okay, bye. No problem.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Lynn.
See you, boys.
We'll just some man, boy.
Diolch yn fawr.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. So there you go.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
Who would have
Good
thought
experience for you, boy.
you made that happen there now, Mike? I'm not sure it was a good call, mind, to pester them on a Sunday afternoon. Good evening, Iestyn, Leanne, Steve.
Lynn is always available.
Well, fair play to him. So, well, he's, like you said, he's the caretaker of the hall.
Yes, he loves it.
And you wouldn't want to mess with Lynn anyway.
No,
So, you know, he's a good caretaker at the end of the
He
day.
says, be quiet on, be quiet
Yeah.
on. Carry on.
Well, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for showing us around, Mike.
Yes.
It's been insightful.
yeah.
Is there anything coming up that you'd like to sort of let us know?
Yes, this is the man. This is the man that's coming up next, right? Like I said, 30-40 tickets left on it.
So you can book these tickets through yourself?
Yes, through myself. Or you can go online to Ticket Source, Tumble Hall Ticket Source, and you can buy tickets online. It's just as easy as buying them here, to be honest with you.
There we are, brilliant.
Got a couple of Welsh nights coming up here.
What are the...
We got the Welsh Whisperer coming. This is the Christmas shows coming up. I've already put the flyer up, so look out. Monday morning or tomorrow morning, the Christmas shows.
We'll be singing Christmas carols tomorrow, then, Mike.
Yes. Hey, listen, it's the next 6 months tomorrow, alright? It's the 1st of July tomorrow, so I'm going to put all the Christmas shows up because they're there, ready?
Fantastic. Well, brilliant. And they've got karate on you as well, as you mentioned, so if you want to join up.
Yeah, line dancing,
Zumba.
We've got a rock and roll night here as well.
So everyone is line dancing?
Line dancing is every Thursday. You've got the Zumba on the Monday with Gina. Natasha then karate on a Tuesday. I believe she's going to do another night. So that's very, very popular at the moment. Line dancing 1:30 till 3:30 on a Tuesday, Thursday. That's popular, very, very popular as well.
Yeah.
So there's something here for everybody.
Yeah, of course there is. What about stuff for kids then at the moment? Is there anything?
Yes.
Because the karate's for children as well as adults. Is there anything else?
Talking about the kids as well. Well, we did have a show yesterday for the family, for children. It was a UV puppet show. Absolutely outstanding.
Right.
So whoever came along was here yesterday, thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of people missed out on it. There we are. We can't please everybody.
No, yeah.
If they want to come along, they come along.
Yeah.
At least we provided some entertainment for them.
Fantastic.
And obviously the weather's keeping them away, but the people that came along, it was spot on.
Brilliant. Well, another thing I'd like to probably ask you, we spoke just recently about sort of putting on an event, possibly next year.
Yeah,
Would you like to take me through and show me?
Yes.
So,
nobody knows about it as...
Okay, well, maybe I'm putting my foot in it. If you'd prefer I didn't say anything, and maybe just keep them in suspense, I'm quite happy to do so. I'm cruel like that.
It's been penciled in, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of hard work that's got to go into it. I'm sure it's going to come off, but it's going to be great for the village, to be honest with you. A lot of people have been asking about where's the play area for the kids in Tumble. Well, the funding has already been raised for it, and it's going to happen, I think, sometime this year. There's new changing rooms coming here, there's a new skate park coming here, and next year, pencil this in if you want to, August the 9th. No, that's my birthday, beg your pardon, August the 8th. August the
So
8th.
Mike's having a massive birthday bash.
Yeah, so August the 8th, we're hoping to, it's been penciled in with the boys of the rugby, boys of the football. There's a committee going on here at the moment, doing an organisation. We're going to do a party in the park.
Wow. You look out on that, that's pretty...
So it'll happen from here. Hopefully, the funds into place, raise some funds. We'll do a party in the park, and I'm sure the community will benefit from it. We'll have the new park for the kids, the new changing rooms, hopefully the new skating park as well, skating area. So it's all in hand. It's all being dealt with as we speak. I'm just there in the background listening to what's going on. So,
but it sounds like there's a lot of exciting things happening for the village and community, and you know, providing a sort of lot of different things for people to get involved in.
Well, funny enough, I was talking to you earlier on about it, and you were saying, like, you know, it's something that you were hoping to do over the years, because being a drummer yourself, is it
no, I was a guitarist.
Okay.
I'm not a very good one, but I was. But yeah, certainly wanted to be. We definitely wanted to put a concert on you. If you had someone as good as yourself, might be a bit of hard work then, but sometimes it takes.
I've mentioned it, and everybody's excited about it. Let's see how it goes, and hopefully we've penciled in August the 8th for party in the park. Everybody's going to put their heads together now, from the football to the rugby and the committee that's organising it, and hopefully we'll see it happening August the 8th next year.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Mike. You've been.
So that's good news for everybody.
Yes, it
And
is.
for
It
the
is.
village.
It is a massive.
Weather permitting.
Well, there you go. The weather's never on our side, mind, is it? Look at the carnival last year.
I know. But weather permitting, it will happen.
Brilliant.
We're all going to make an effort to make it happen, and it does.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, it's a pleasure watching you do a little.
Well, it's been nice to be part of it. Hopefully, I can come back and see you again at some point.
By all means, by all means.
I'm gonna leave you to it now, and I'm gonna head off back up through the park. Brilliant. You'll come out. Tell Mike. So there you have it. That's pretty good news. I was discussing this with Mike earlier. I love those steps. I don't know what it is. This makes me very. I'm not sure how well you can hear me with on my head mouse here. Hard. Don't forget beautiful Sunday lunches that Mandy and Co provide. Absolutely gorgeous and puddings. Pearl Davis. Well done. Yes, thank you. That's an important part. And that's something I'm probably going to come back on in the next couple of weeks. The people that sort of work hard in this community to make food and provide, in that sense. So yeah, maybe we'll come back and see Mandy, hopefully. Maybe Lynn. I hope to see Lynn. Lynn, Mandy. Maybe I'd like to go back and see the bakery. Maybe you could talk to Robert down there. So let's have a look. Marie Jones says best garden contest. Yeah, that's a pretty big garden from that door, I can tell you. Good evening, Joyce. Nice to see you on here. Melanie. Who else have I got here? So yeah, so thanks for joining me tonight. I hope I've been able to do what I set out to accomplish. Regarding community. Yeah, there you go. One keep park here. Who remembers going through this? Were you playing on this? Many of you played on this field. The posts aren't there at the moment. Probably in for repair, I imagine. There you go. Thanks for joining me. Come back next week. And maybe, I think next week, we'll look at little places like this. And maybe, just give me a second. My screen's playing up, the wind is going. Yeah, I want to just so many visitors. It takes so much time to film these things. I'm going to go back up this way through the wind just to antagonize. I've got a couple of kids who want to talk to me, so we're rude not to talk to them. If you turn around. Good evening, lads. Alright? Football players?
Yeah.
What team do you support?
I support Chelsea.
Chelsea, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah? What team do you support?
Swansea and Liverpool.
Swansea and Liverpool. Greedy that is, isn't it? Having two?
Rugby, and I support Liverpool.
Do you? Just one team. Well, you might as well support Swansea as well then. So what are you doing tonight then, guys? Just cycling around. Are you part of a cycling team or group?
I used to.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you cycle for Tumble?
We play for Tumble.
You play football for Tumble, do you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you play rugby as well?
Yes.
Is it?
I do.
Well done. Right. Thank you very much for talking to me. See you later. Bye. Well, that's nice, isn't it? You get to have a conversation with the little lads. Football for Tumble, cycle for Tumble. There's a lot of that going on, so yeah, keep that. We didn't have cycling groups when we were kids. We cycled, obviously. Should be mic. Wind playing havoc with the mic. Yes, sorry. Unfortunately, I have a new mic. I have a dead mouse on it. It ain't doing the job. I think we're going to have to go to something else. However, I think we've been successful in sort of looking at some of the community aspects in terms of team playing, and I think, like I said, if you're going to do something, work with people to do it. There's no I in team, as I said, we work better together. Those of you who want to work against, see how it goes. I'm not sure about that. And when I say that, we all have a sort of, I think we're all rebels as kids, but maybe try working with others, try helping out, try being part of a team, whether you're part of slightly distracted. Yeah, whether you want to try a football team out, rugby, there's plenty here on offer. At the hall, the club, there's a lot of things to get involved with. Help out. Anyway, I'm going to leave you at that. Until next week, I'll see you then. Have a good one. Take care. Over and out.